The blood-curdling warfare and conquest of the Aztecs and the methodical scientific advances of the Maya are two of the most impressive civilizations in Mesoamerica to many of us today. It is usually regarded that both the foundations of these civilizations sprang forth from a single source. Although there are many more complexities to these cultures, the roots of many of their practices lie in the distant past of Central America. They came from a people who rose to become the first civilization in the region due to the utilization of their land, resources, and human cooperation. This is Ancestoria, the architects of Mesoamerica. The Olmecs lived on the coastal plains of the Gulf of Mexico. From 8300 to 9600 HE, they built a flourishing civilization complete with artistic and religious devotions. Their earliest city, San Lorenzo, is built atop a platform that raised it above the floodwaters. These were agricultural people who developed a trade network across the region. This was significantly aided by the Coatzacoalcos River Basin and a land with rich natural resources that they utilized to great extents, maintaining massive settlements never before seen in Mesoamerica. The success of their trade allowed for an elite to rise to prominence, and they came to desire great monuments and commissioned artwork in and around the city. For hundreds of years they were without rival, but by 9200 HE the city had been fully evacuated by our ancestors in a seemingly planned transition to a new city, Venta. It was likely necessitated by environmental changes, but Venta is different from San Lorenzo because both commoners and elite residences are located outside the main city. Inside, a sacred and possibly restricted complex dominates the city with tombs, monuments, mounds, plazas, raised platforms, and a pyramid resting inside. This indicates that the city was planned for religious purposes from the start. Throughout the centuries, numerous works were created, of which colossal stone heads and ball courts are most prominent. The Olmecs even created the first writing and calendar system in the Western Hemisphere, which would be replicated and improved on henceforth. The colossal heads, already impressive by their size and detail, are made from a single piece of basalt, which is a rock that only occurs miles away from the settlements. As the Olmecs were without wagons nor any animals to pull the stones, they had to transport it by either dragging them overland or using rafts to float them down the river. Each head is unique and probably represents long-dead rulers of the Olmec. It's speculated that each head required 1,500 workers and at least 3 months for transportation time alone. They also held rich spiritual beliefs where all living things contained energy that powered the universe, and our ancestors aimed to draw out this energy through various methods including fasting, meditation, mutilation, and bloodletting. Additionally, an activity referred to as the ball game helped to maintain the balance of the world. This is where opposing teams would try to shoot rubber balls into stone holes without using their hands or feet. The game represented a titanic struggle between light and darkness, where the defeated would be sacrificed to the gods. These gods and the existence of the ball game are ever present throughout Mesoamerican history, lasting all the way to the fall of the Aztecs to Conquistador Cortez in 11521 HE. For 3,000 years, many variations on Olmec culture dominated Mesoamerica. It was a civilization of first, without equal in the Americas, and their influence may have even spread beyond Central America. Our ancestors channeled the power of humankind and left an economic, social, and religious legacy which endured with tremendous perseverance and inspired the advancement of civilizations of the Americas. This is Ancestoria, the history of our ancestors.